By the time Caleb asked for the mountain, most of the men who first saw it were already buried in the sand behind him. The land still looked the same, still guarded, still impossible in the eyes of those who once stood at its edge. But Caleb was 85 years old now, and something about him hadn't changed in 45 years. Not his strength, not his memory, but his refusal to accept that delay meant denial. Because long ago, he had seen something the others chose to forget, and it cost him everything to hold on to it.
The 12 spies moved through Canaan with careful steps, not like explorers, like men trying not to be noticed by something that could erase them. The land was everything they had been told. Fertile valleys stretched wide, fruit hung heavy on the vines. But beauty did not mean safety. Stone walls rose from the ground like something built to resist time itself. Cities sat high above the land, watching. Then the silence broke. They saw them. The Anakim. Giants. Not symbols. Not stories. Men so large that every step they took made the ground feel borrowed. One of the spies stopped walking completely. His voice came out lower than a whisper. "We shouldn't be here." No one disagreed. When they returned to the camp, the people gathered fast. Hope arrived first. Fear arrived next. Then everything collapsed. "The land is good," they said. Relief moved through the crowd. Then came the next words. "But the cities are fortified." A shift. "The people are strong." Silence tightened. "And there are giants." That word didn't describe size anymore. It described finality. A man near the front said quietly, "So we came all this way to die?" And that thought spread faster than any voice could stop it. The camp erupted, people shouting over each other, parents pulling children behind them, men arguing like panic had replaced thought. Some screamed for Egypt like it was safety instead of slavery. Then Caleb stepped forward, and for a moment it was as if noise had to pass around him. "We should go up," he said. "We can take it." The response came immediately. Anger, fear, disbelief. "You saw them too. You don't understand what's waiting there. We are not strong enough." The other spies added their weight. "We looked like grasshoppers." And once that word entered the air, it changed everything. Grasshoppers. Not men, not warriors. Something small placed in front of something overwhelming. Then the camp moved, not as a crowd anymore, as pressure. A man picked up a stone, then another. Shouting swallowed reason. Joshua grabbed Caleb's arm. But Caleb didn't move. Not because he was fearless, but because he realized something in that moment. Fear was no longer just spoken. It was becoming action. That night, the future collapsed. Not slowly, all at once. The people who stood at the edge of the promise never entered it. The wilderness became their place of staying. Time stopped feeling like progress and became repetition. Same sun, same dust, same unreachable horizon. Over time, hope faded. They stopped arguing about the promise. Then they simply survived. Voices disappeared. Friends were buried. Names became memories. Caleb watched it all. One by one, the people he knew were gone. The camp grew quieter with every passing year. One night, beside a fresh grave, exhaustion spoke louder than faith for a moment. He wondered if they would ever leave. But morning came, and he stood again, not because he felt certain, but because stopping meant surrendering to the wilderness. Then, 45 years later, the waiting ended. The land was finally real, but heavy with meaning. Caleb stood before Joshua at 85 years old. His body carried time, but his eyes carried unbroken purpose. He looked not at the land, but toward Hebron, the mountain still occupied. Silently, he said, "Give me this mountain." No explanation was needed. He was still the same man who never let go of what others abandoned. He went into the same terrain, the same resistance, the same history that once broke a nation. But now it meant something different. A man who had already survived losing everything except what mattered most. He climbed steadily, not to prove anything, only refusing to stop. And when the dust settled, the giants were gone. Not because they changed, but because he did not shrink when he saw them. Most people lose their purpose slowly, through delay, disappointment, and time. Not because the dream dies, but because carrying it becomes too heavy. Caleb lived differently. He carried his promise through decades of silence. And when the moment came, he didn't ask for something easier. He asked for the mountain. If you've ever felt like you've been waiting too long, carrying something too heavy, or wondering if it still matters after all this time, you're not alone in that thought. You're just standing in the same place Caleb once refused to stay.